Tuesday, March 5. This is the news on PBCJ. I'm Simone Absalom. Sanctions imposed on Venezuela by the Trump administration in the United States have been making it difficult for Jamaica to pay down on its debt obligations under PetroCaribe. This was revealed by Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark, who told Parliament's Standing Finance Committee on Monday that debt payments to Venezuela have been returned by correspondent banks.
We have a corresponding bank.
Right.
We issue wire instructions to that corresponding bank.
Right.
And then that corresponding bank does what they ought to do.
And that is not affected by any sanctions. You can do that now. You have been doing it.
We have been issuing instructions.
Yes.
Those instructions have not been acted upon because corresponding banks believe that they're exposed under sanctions. But we can only issue instructions to our corresponding banks.
Clark told Standing Finance Committee members that the government was committing to honoring its debt under PetroCaribe. However, the economic sanctions imposed on the South American country were making it difficult. He told the meeting that Jamaica presently owes about $150 million to Venezuela as part of the agreement. When opposition member Philip Polwell pressed on whether Jamaica would continue to honor payment obligations under the oil pact, Clark said he could not predict what would happen going forward.
So in relation to the debt that is owed, that you have provided for in the budget, you believe that you're going to have problems settling those payments?
I can't look 12 months in advance. I can tell you what happened in December. And another payment date is coming up, and we can tell you what happens then. But we are doing what we've always done, which is to issue instructions to our correspondent bank to debit our account and to remit funds to the lender, which is based in Caracas.
O'Brien's International Car Sales and Rentals has just under 2 weeks to deliver vehicles contracted to the Jamaica Constabulary Force. This is a new deadline which was set in the wake of a decision to grant the company additional time to supply pre-owned cars and pickups to the Jamaica Constabulary Force. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang gave an update in Parliament's Standing Finance Committee on Monday. The National Security Minister, who was giving an update on the controversial supply contract issued to O'Brien's in 2016, said in light of missed deadlines for the force to receive the vehicles, the time has come for strong action.
I've instructed the lawyers to proceed to take steps to file against the gentleman. The police, to which it was reported by my predecessor, has taken investigation. But more critically, if he fails to deliver, although its time has been extended, my advice, if he fails to deliver on the mediation, which we agreed to, which was extended to, in fact, the 22nd, we still haven't one there.
22nd off?
No, it was. No. We gave until the end of February. He concluded some arrangement with the bank to ensure we could get the vehicles off the wharf, because that was his challenge. While we asked the lawyers to begin the process of filing against him. I've also asked the CTOC, who were doing the investigation in fraud, to look at the case again, and they think they have a case, but more critically, if he does not deliver the cars that are here. But let me finish. If he does not deliver the cars here, and we have given further extension in time, by the time, I think it's the second week in this month, then he would have breached the mediation agreement, would be fraudulent. And therefore he'll not go to court, he'll be detained.
The matter was placed before mediation after O'Brien's failed to fulfill the contract to supply vehicles despite being paid more than $230 million.
The contract went to mediation, and the supplier said they have the vehicles delivered for the $230 million. If they don't, then if I don't get my money, I'm going to prison.
Okay.
One or the other.
The government is proceeding with plans to implement legislation to enhance security measures in the wake of the recent discontinuation of states of emergency. Prime Minister Andrew Holness last Friday chaired the monthly sitting of the National Security Council, which discussed the proposed law. The Prime Minister, while noting that the overall crime rate is lower in the same period in 2018, expressed concern regarding the number of murders and shootings. The news release from the Office of the Prime Minister on Monday said Mr. Holness proposed a new legislative framework giving intermediate and specific powers to the security forces under the Enhanced Security Measures Law. The law is being designed to give the police and military the necessary tools to disrupt criminal networks, reduce violence, and increase public order. Thursday, April 4, is the new date for the by-election in Portland Eastern. This announcement supersedes the one made last week that the by-election was set for March 25, 2019. PBCJ understands that several factors led to the change in the date, including the fact that March 6 is a public holiday. According to a statement, a public holiday is an excluded day for the purpose of Section 21(1)(a) of the Representation of the People Act, which provides that the day appointed for nomination shall be at least 5 clear days after the announcement of an election. The second annual Blue Mountain Coffee Festival held at Newcastle showcased 46 exhibitors and was a resounding success. The festival highlighted a range of exotic coffee brews, coffee byproducts, and sweets made from coffee, including cupcakes and ice cream. Among the score who made their way to Newcastle was Tourism Minister Ed Bartlett.
People marvel at the numbers and how, for example, in the first 2 months of the year, we almost have 1 million visitors into Jamaica already, and wonder about it. Well, it is because we have added value. And the visitor has so many things to do now when they come to Jamaica, so many things to experience. And the more we use our commodities that traditionally only had export value, to broaden and deepen that value chain and to make more Jamaicans benefit from it individually and provide an experience for visitors, is the more wealth that we will create and retain in our economy.
We actually recycle the coffee grounds and we create an infusion for coffee scrubs. So we actually make 6 different blends with our home roots ingredients. So we have like activated charcoal, cinnamon, oats, raw cane sugar. We've actually just launched a new face mask with kaolin clay, which is an actual natural exfoliator, as well as coffee grounds. Because as you know, caffeine is very good for the skin. It promotes collagen production, oxygen flow within your skin. That really gives you a healthy glow. So we do a lot of infusions with coffee and we have a lot more to go. Everybody loves the fact that it's all natural. We have no alcohols, no fragrances. All our scents come from natural essential oils. So people love that because anybody that suffers from eczema, psoriasis, or any skin conditions, the alcohols and fragrances in other skin products actually help. Well, they actually irritate the skin. So our products being all natural with only essential oils and carrier oils actually help and benefit your skin a lot more.
Well, Paradise Child, for example, is one of the innovations that we have to support, because what it is doing is taking from the value chain of coffee and creating a product that is going to be useful to create another type of experience that visitors come to Jamaica for and Jamaicans themselves want. So the use of coffee for scrubs and for soaps and spa applications, health and wellness, is a very important part of that experiential drive that we are making to bring more visitors here.
According to Minister Bartlett, there are plans to hold a range of other festivals highlighting other Jamaican commodities.
Cadbury chocolate originated from the Jamaican coffee cocoa stock. And when Sir Hans Sloane was here, he discovered the plant and also recognized its value as a medicinal fruit. So it went a long way because he became the physician of the Queen. And that's how Cadbury chocolate came about, originating from Jamaica. So Jamaica has a strong tradition there, and it's something we to build on. So then there is a rum, and we're doing the rum. Then there is also sugar festivals that we can have. Then there's also mango festival that we have. And we can have festivals for all the exotic fruits that Jamaica produces and create awareness and bring more people to Jamaica, and also create consciousness that we can take it to another level of production, because investment now can happen in production by way of growth of more feedstock, and then by agro-processing to convert it into juices and nectars and all the other applications which come from it.
More than 15,000 pounds of conch was confiscated from a fishing boat flying the Dominican Republic flag, which was intercepted and detained by the Jamaica Defense Force Coast Guard on Saturday. They were caught fishing illegally in Jamaican waters. A total of 57 fishermen, all from the Dominican Republic, have since been arrested and taken to the Coast Guard base at Caguay Port Royal for processing. Reports are that HMJS Middlesex, one of the Coast Guard's offshore patrol vessels, was conducting a routine fisheries protection patrol along the Pedro Banks when the men were intercepted. The JDF Coast Guard had stepped up patrols of Jamaica's largest offshore bank and other areas where illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing is suspected to be taking place. The U.S. dollar on Monday, March 4, ended trading at Jamaican $127.94, down by 47 cents. That's according to the Bank of Jamaica's daily foreign exchange trading summary. The Canadian dollar ended trading at $96.29, up from $96.16, while the British pound sterling ended trading at Jamaican $167.06, down from $170.56. In news from across the Caribbean, 4 more regional countries are being asked to become shareholders in cash-strapped airline Liat. Antigua and Barbuda's Gaston Brown says efforts are being made to encourage the governments of St. Kitts and Nevis, Guyana, St. Lucia, and Grenada to become shareholders. Speaking on a radio program last weekend, he said the issue had been discussed at the recently concluded CARICOM Intersessional Summit in St. Kitts.
What we have recognized is that Liat is making a significant contribution, not only in terms of the connectivity of people within the region, but even the airport taxes, the landing charges and so on that are earned by the various governments. Liat is making a significant contribution to the revenue. And they have to understand that even if Liat was to collapse, Liat will have to be replaced. We must be in a position to move people within the region. So if Liat collapses, then you'll have to reinvent it.
Brown also dismissed reports from Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley that Liat only had cash to remain in operations for 10 days.
That is not so. The reality is the various governments continue to support Liat to ensure that it stays within the air. Perhaps someone may have made a statement, and as far as I'm concerned, it was a hyperbole. I'm not saying that without the support that Liat could not collapse. But the reality is, Liat still has the support of the 4 shareholder governments, and we will not allow it to collapse unless, circumstances push us to the extent in which we cannot take it any further.
In other news, 2 CARICOM countries have been granted a 5-year referral to implement the freedom of movement provision under the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, the CSME. This revelation from the Trinidad and Tobago Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, who was speaking at a post-CARICOM intersessional meeting last week.
In that arrangement is the whole question of freedom of movement of individuals within the territories, among the territories. Everybody agreed to that. By the next meeting, while there's commitment to that, 2 CARICOM territories raise and ask for a deferral of the freedom of movement which that development was directing us to. Now that we are saying that it is to be policy, where certain amount of encouragement and legal standing is put to ease of migration, these 2 territories found themselves saying, this may generate within our borders, and in some instances have already generated, concerns about the balance of the population within their borders. So they asked for a 5-year deferral as not to be bound legally to accept any and all who would come into their borders because of the effect that would have.
In sports, West Indies have retained their 13-man one-day squad for the 3-match T20 international series against England starting this week. But star all-rounder Andre Russell will take no part after failing to recover from a recent knee procedure. A Cricket West Indies release yesterday said the 30-year-old had to be withdrawn from the squad, quote, due to an adverse reaction he had to a medical procedure done in Dubai before he flew to the Caribbean, end quote. Russell, who had been playing in the ongoing Pakistan Super League, was called up to the one-day squad for the 2 final ODIs to replace injured Seema Kamar Roach. However, Russell was overlooked for both ODIs with no explanation given for his exclusion. And that's the news on PBCJ. Thank you so much for watching.